The series begins with a girl named Faylee who lives in an orphanage. Faylee is 16 years old, making her older than the other kids in the orphanage. Even though it is her birthday, Faylee goes about her day as usual. She helps with the chores in the orphanage, like washing clothes, cleaning the floors, and preparing meals for the kids. Faylee does all these tasks with a kind heart because she considers the children in the orphanage her family. Aside from helping around the orphanage, Faylee also works part-time at a restaurant. After getting ready for work, she says goodbye to Ida, the caretaker of the orphanage. Ida has been taking care of Faylee ever since her parents left her at the orphanage years ago. At the restaurant, Faylee arrives a bit late and gets a scolding from her manager. Soon after, she warmly serves a businessman named Johan, who seems to like her. Every time Johan comes to the restaurant, he insists on being served only by Faylee. That day, Johan asks Faylee for her opinion on his appearance because he's going to a business meeting with his clients. Faylee feels curious about why Johan always asks for her opinion. Johan then explains that his wife passed away, and he has 4 sons who don't care about how he looks. Not long after, Faylee got a big surprise. The kids from the orphanage secretly came to her workplace to celebrate her birthday. The celebration was very simple, but Faylee felt so touched and happy because of the love shown by the kids. But then, her manager came over and scolded her. The kids' visit had upset some of the customers. Johan stepped in to calm the manager and the customers. After that, he wished Faylee a happy birthday and even offered to take her and the kids back to the orphanage. When they arrived, Ida was already waiting for them. She thanked Johan for bringing everyone back safely. That night, Faylee and Ida talked. Ida shared that years ago, Faylee's parents left her at the orphanage, but they never came back to get her. Faylee had always waited for her parents to return, but they never did. Over time, Faylee accepted this and told Ida that she was now ready to be adopted if someone wanted to take her in. Faylee admitted that she had always said no to adoption because she kept hoping her parents would come back for her. Later, while cleaning, the lights suddenly went out, leaving everything in darkness. Faylee became very scared and called out for Ida. Faylee was afraid of the dark, and it sometimes made her faint. Thankfully, this time she didn't faint. Ida quickly comforted Faylee, telling her everything would be okay. A little while later, Faylee and Ida received some happy news. Faylee was accepted into Bodhi Dharma School. Ida told her that her best friend, Chloe, also studied there. Chloe was Faylee's childhood friend from the orphanage. Faylee didn't know if Chloe had been adopted or reunited with her parents since they had lost contact after Chloe left the orphanage. Before going to sleep, Faylee wrote about everything that happened that day in her diary. She planned to give the diary to her parents someday because she always wrote her most precious moments in it. The next day, Faylee was super excited because it was her first day at school. While walking to the school gate, a car almost hit her. The car was driven by a student, but instead of saying sorry, the student just drove off, making Faylee really upset. A boy named Hema, the student council president, tried to scold the driver and 3 other boys in the car. Seeing Hema struggling, Faylee stepped in to help him because the 4 boys were being rude and didn't care that Hema was the student council president. One of the boys, Raga Winston, was the most arrogant of them all. Raga and Faylee almost got into an argument, but Faylee decided to pull Hema away and leave. After they walked away, Raga noticed a necklace on the ground. It seemed to belong to Faylee, so he picked it up. Meanwhile, Faylee and Hema introduced themselves to each other. Hema seemed to like Faylee because he couldn't stop looking at her. When he found out she was a new student, Hema offered to take her to the principal's office. Later, Faylee was placed in the same class as Hema, Raga, and the 3 other boys from the car. To her surprise, her best friend Chloe was also in the same class. But instead of being happy to see Faylee, Chloe didn't seem to like having her there and even refused to let Faylee sit with her. Luckily, Faylee met 2 kind girls, Shania and Alan, who welcomed her warmly. During lunch break, Shania and Alan warned Faylee to stay away from Raga and his brothers. They explained that the 3 boys who were always with Raga were his brothers, and together, they were called the Winston brothers. The brothers were super popular because their wealthy family was the school's biggest donor. Raga, the oldest, was an automotive influencer admired by many girls, but was very arrogant. Jordan, the second brother, was calm and quiet. Helga, the third, was a hardcore gamer who was often rude to everyone. And Navarro, the youngest, was friendly to most people but acted cold toward those he didn't like. At that time, Shania and Alan reminded Faley again to avoid the Winston brothers if she wanted to have a peaceful and happy time at school. Not long after, Faley realized her necklace was missing. She searched everywhere but couldn't find it. The necklace was a special gift from her parents before they left her at the orphanage, so it was very precious to her. Feeling sad, Faley went to the cafeteria, where she saw Raga, his brothers, and Chloe sitting together. Raga was still upset with Faley for standing up to him earlier. He told Helga to play a prank on her. There, Helga quickly grabbed Faley's hair clip. When Faley tried to take it back, Helga handed it to Raga instead. But then, Chloe unexpectedly took the hair clip and threw it, breaking it. Faley was shocked and hurt. She never thought Chloe, her old best friend, would treat her like that. Faley ran after Chloe and told her how much she missed her. But Chloe pushed her away and coldly said that she wasn't the same Chloe who used to live at the orphanage. She told Faley to stay away and act like they didn't know each other. Faley felt heartbroken. She never imagined Chloe could change so much. That evening, Faley talked to Ida at the orphanage. She shared everything that happened at school, including how Chloe had changed. Ida comforted her, telling her to stay positive no matter what. Ida said Chloe might be going through her own struggles, which could be why she was avoiding Faley. Later that night, Johan came to the orphanage. He surprised everyone by saying he wanted to adopt Faley. Faley was stunned, especially when Johan called his 4 sons to meet her. They were the Winston brothers. Raga and his brothers were just as shocked. Raga was furious with his father for not discussing the decision with him first. Helga and Navarro were also upset, while Jordan stayed quiet without saying a word. Raga stormed out, angry about his father's choice to adopt Faley. Meanwhile, Helga and Navarro kept trying to convince Johan to change his mind. Faley stood there, unsure of what the future would hold. Feeling awkward, Faley asked for permission to step outside. As she walked out, she saw Raga holding her necklace. Faley quickly asked Raga to give it back, but Raga refused. He said he would only return the necklace if Faley rejected his father's offer to adopt her. Desperate to get her necklace back, Faley went to Johan and told him she couldn't accept his adoption offer. Feeling sad and confused, Faley left in a hurry, leaving Johan and Ida shocked by her decision. Johan later found Faley and tried to talk to her. He told her not to listen to everything his son said because they just needed time to adjust. However, Faley still felt unsure and asked Johan to cancel his plan to adopt her. Johan then explained why he wanted to adopt her. He shared that he and his late wife had always dreamed of having a daughter, but that dream never came true before his wife passed away. Johan also told Faley that he felt a connection with her. He admired her kind heart and thought she would fit in well since she was the same age as his sons. Still, seeing Faley hesitate, Johan gave her an option. He suggested Faley try living with them for 3 months. If after that time she still didn't feel comfortable, he wouldn't force her to stay and would respect her decision. Meanwhile, Raga arrived home still upset and went straight to his room. Soon after, Jordan came in and they talked about the adoption. Raga asked Jordan what he thought about it. Jordan said the adoption was probably something their father had wanted for a long time. Once their father set his mind on something, he rarely changed it. At that time, Jordan stayed neutral in his response. He didn't want to go against their father, but he also didn't want to argue with his brothers over their differing opinions. The next day, after thinking carefully, Faley decided to accept Johan's offer. She didn't want to trouble Ida, who had taken care of her since she was little and still had other children to look after. When Faley said goodbye to Ida and the kids, everyone cried because they loved her so much. Before leaving, Faley thanked Ida for everything she had done for her. Ida hugged Faley tightly and asked Johan to take good care of her. Soon after, Faley arrived at Johan's house. However, Johan had to leave for a sudden meeting at his office, so he asked Ratty, his head maid, to look after Faley. Ratty welcomed Faley warmly and showed her around the house. Faley was amazed by how big and beautiful the house was. Faley then met Raga and his brothers, but only Jordan greeted her kindly. The others still seemed upset about her being there. While Ratty and Jordan helped Faley settle into her new room, Raga and his brothers started planning a way to make Feli uncomfortable in their home. Meanwhile, Feli was happy and excited because her room was so nice. Later, Raga asked Feli to come with him. Feli was confused at first, but Raga explained that their father had asked him to take her shopping for things she might need. Believing him, Feli agreed to go. During the trip, Raga suddenly stopped and told Feli to get out of the car, saying he needed to park. But instead of parking, Raga drove back home, leaving Feli all alone. It was a prank he had planned from the start. Shortly after, it began to rain heavily. Raga started to worry that Feli might complain to their father, so he rushed back to pick her up. When Raga arrived, he found Feli soaking wet from the rain. He quickly grabbed an umbrella to cover her. Feli was furious and yelled at Raga for leaving her like that. The next morning, Feli and the Winston brothers got ready to go to school. Before leaving, Feli politely said goodbye to Johan by kissing his hand. Raga and his brothers were surprised because none of them had ever done that before. They found it strange, but didn't say anything. Soon after, the five of them rode to school in the same car. But just before arriving, Raga told Feli to get out and walk the rest of the way. He didn't want anyone at school to know she had ridden with them. Even though she was upset, Feli reluctantly did as Raga said and got out of the car. At school, Helga and Navarro were completely mesmerized when a beautiful girl named Monica walked by. Monica was one of the most popular students, and her beauty left them both stunned. They were so distracted by her that they ignored Raga and didn't notice what was happening around them. Helga was so unfocused that he accidentally bumped into Feli. Later, Shania invited Feli to watch Raga drift his car after school. Feli wasn't interested in watching, but she agreed to go because she didn't want to disappoint Shania. After school, the two of them arrived to watch Raga. The crowd, especially the girls, cheered loudly as Raga started his drifting performance. But Feli wasn't impressed. She thought it was nothing special. When Raga spotted Feli in the crowd, he quickly pulled her into his car. He wanted to scare her with his driving, but Feli wasn't scared at all. Instead, she said his driving skills were just average. Hearing this in front of his fans made Raga angry and even more annoyed with Feli. That night, Raga told Helga and Navarro about what happened. The two brothers came up with a plan to teach Feli a lesson for embarrassing them. They decided to turn off the power in the house to scare her. When the lights suddenly went out, Feli panicked. Her fear of the dark took over, and she started screaming for help. But no one came because the brothers had also locked her in her room. Suddenly, they heard the sound of something falling inside Feli's room. At the same time, Jordan walked in, catching them off guard and making them panic. There, Jordan immediately unlocked Feli's door and found her lying unconscious on the floor. Seeing Feli fainted, everyone, including Raga, Helga, and Navarro, became alarmed and scared of what would happen next. Shortly after, Jordan quickly carried Feli to her bed and asked Radit to turn the power back on. Once the lights were back, Feli woke up and immediately hugged Jordan, still feeling scared. Jordan told Raga and his brothers to apologize to Feli for their prank, which had gone too far. Although they weren't entirely sincere, they said sorry to her. Later that night, Feli wrote in her diary about the Winston brothers, who had suddenly become a big part of her life. She described their mischief, but also wrote about how kind Jordan was to her. Feli even admitted to herself that she was starting to like Jordan because he always treated her nicely. The next morning at breakfast, Johan asked Feli if his sons were treating her well. Hearing this, the brothers became nervous, worried she might tell their father about their behavior. Surprisingly, Feli didn't say anything bad. Instead, she told Johan that they had been nice to her. At school, Helga and Navarro thanked Feli for not complaining to their father. But Raga thought Feli only did it to gain their father's favor. To tease her, they stuck a piece of paper on her back that said, "Say no to Feli." Other students laughed and pointed at her as she walked by, making Feli feel embarrassed. When she realized what was happening, Feli ran off to confront Raga. On the way, she accidentally bumped into a troublemaker named Kai. Feli quickly apologized, but Kai got angry because his shirt got wet. He tried to hit Feli, but Raga and his brother showed up just in time to help her. Feli was surprised they came to her rescue. Raga then challenged Kai to a fight, and things got heated. Feli, not wanting them to get in trouble because of her, stepped in to break it up. Raga eventually told everyone to leave, but Kai warned that things weren't over and that he would get back at them. Later, Helga and Navarro ran into Kai and his gang by accident. Kai and his friends poured water on them as payback. This led to a fight, but luckily, a school security guard arrived and broke it up before things got worse. In class, Navarro wanted to ask a friend for tissues to clean his shirt. Just then, Monica walked in and handed him a pack of tissues with a kind smile. Navarro was surprised and couldn't stop admiring her beauty. Shortly after, Monica approached Helga and gave him a towel to clean his shirt. Like Navarro, Helga was also captivated by Monica's sweet smile. Later, during class, Raga decided to prank Feli by spilling marker ink on her chair. When Feli sat down, her skirt got covered in ink, and her classmates laughed at her. Feli immediately suspected Raga was behind it. Luckily, Jordan came to her rescue, taking her to the restroom so she could clean her skirt. Raga, however, looked annoyed when he saw Jordan helping her. After school, Helga and Navarro waited for Raga in the parking lot. They started talking about the girl they liked and even planned a double date with their crushes. But they didn't realize they were both talking about the same person, and it's Monica. Soon after, Raga joined them, and they came up with another plan to prank Feli. They went to Feli's workplace and began causing trouble. At that time, Raga spilled the drinks Feli was carrying and pretended to get angry, making a scene until Feli's manager came and scolded her. But Raga didn't stop there. He acted like he lost his wallet, while Helga secretly slipped it onto Feli's tray to frame her. Raga accused Feli of stealing his wallet and even demanded her manager fire her. And the manager, believing Raga's lies, immediately fired Feli and told her to leave. Feli was heartbroken. As she left the restaurant, she confronted Raga and his brothers, telling them how much the job meant to her. Even though she now lived with Johan, who provided for her needs, she didn't want to depend on him entirely. She worked to support herself and help the children at the orphanage. Hearing this, Raga and his brothers felt guilty. They realized their prank had gone too far and caused Feli to lose something important to her. Soon after, Feli met Jordan, who invited her to go shopping. Jordan had already found out that Feli was fired from her job because of Raga and his brothers. Feeling bad for what they did, Jordan wanted to make it up to her by taking her shopping. While they were picking out clothes, their eyes met by accident. Feli felt so shy and nervous that she almost tripped. Luckily, Jordan caught her just in time, and the moment felt sweet and special. Feeling even more flustered, Feli quickly went to the fitting room to try on the clothes she had chosen. Jordan, meanwhile, seemed to have feelings for Feli too, but he decided to keep them to himself. After shopping, they returned home at the same time as Raga, Helga, and Navarro. Once they got home, Raga scolded Jordan for being nice to Feli. He said they had been trying so hard to make Feli uncomfortable, but Jordan kept helping her. Jordan stood his ground and told Raga he would always stand up for Feli. Unexpectedly, Feli overheard their conversation. She felt hurt when Raga said she was just trying to take advantage of them. Angry and upset, Feli walked up to Raga and slapped him. She firmly told them that if they didn't want her there, she would leave. Everyone was stunned into silence as Feli went to her room. In her room, Feli wrote in her diary. She wrote about how she wanted to prove Raga wrong. She had no intention of using their wealth. Feli also wrote about Jordan's kindness and how happy it made her. That night, as Feli was making a cup of tea, she accidentally hurt her hand. Then, Jordan showed up just in time and helped her treat the wound. He was so gentle and caring that it made Feli feel special. Later, Feli wrote in her diary again, this time about how she was starting to have feelings for Jordan. The next day, Feli wore the clothes Jordan had bought for her. Everyone was amazed because Feli looked so beautiful and different from usual. Jordan complimented her, saying the outfit suited her perfectly. Feli blushed and smiled, while Raga frowned. To show her gratitude, Feli decided to make fried rice for Jordan. Hearing this, Helga and Navarro also asked Feli to cook fried rice for them. Feli agreed, but on one condition that they had to stop teasing her. Helga jokingly said it depended on whether her fried rice was delicious or not. Later, Feli finished cooking, and they all tried her fried rice. Helga said it was delicious and even asked Raga to try it. But Raga, being stubborn, refused. Meanwhile, Jordan also praised the fried rice, saying it was amazing. Soon, Johan arrived, and Feli asked him to taste her cooking too. When Johan tried the fried rice, he was surprised because it reminded him of his late wife's cooking. That day, Johan decided to visit his wife's grave and invited his sons to come along. He also asked Feli to join them. However, Raga openly objected, saying Feli wasn't part of their family, and her presence made him uncomfortable. Despite Raga's protests, Johan insisted that Feli come, which made Raga angry. He stormed off in frustration. Later, they arrived at the graveyard. Johan asked Feli to scatter flowers and lead the prayer. This made the atmosphere even more awkward, especially since Raga looked upset. On their way back, Raga confronted Feli, saying she should have refused their father's request because she wasn't part of their family. After visiting the grave, they stopped by Raga's car workshop. At that time, Johan was proud of Raga for turning his hobby into a future career. Even though Raga was still in high school, he already had his own business. While Johan praised Raga, Jordan looked unhappy, feeling a little jealous of his brother. Shortly after, Johan left for an important meeting at his office, and Feli asked to use the restroom. During this time, Raga and his brother started talking about how they felt during the visit to their mother's grave. Navarro said it felt strange having Feli there because they usually went as a family of 5, and it was odd having someone new join them. Raga and Helga agreed, while Jordan stayed quiet. Unexpectedly, Feli overheard their conversation. Hearing that she made them uncomfortable, Feli felt sad. She apologized to them, saying they didn't need to worry because she would leave their house soon. That night, Feli packed her suitcase and prepared to say goodbye to Johan. She told him she planned to return to the orphanage. Johan was surprised and asked why she wanted to leave. Feli explained that she didn't want to cause any problems in the family or make his sons uncomfortable with her presence. And Johan, feeling concerned, tried to convince Feli to stay. He showed her a video of special moments he shared with his late wife. In the video, his wife talked about her dream of having a daughter, which was also Johan's wish. Johan told Feli he wanted her to be part of their family and revealed that he had enrolled her in Booty Dharma School to give her a good education and a brighter future. Johan hoped that Feli could achieve success in the future, so she could help the children at the orphanage and repay Ida for all her kindness. He also mentioned that once Feli succeeded, she might be able to find her parents. Hearing this, Feli felt deeply touched and grateful for Johan's care and support. In the end, Feli decided to stay with Johan and his sons. In the following days, Helga and Navarro planned a double date with the girls they liked, not realizing they both liked the same person. When Monica arrived, both Helga and Navarro greeted her excitedly. Monica then mentioned that they had both invited her on a date. It was at that moment Helga and Navarro realized they liked the same girl. They were annoyed with each other and started arguing. That evening, Raga invited his brothers to eat pizza in his room. However, Helga and Navarro, still upset about Monica, ignored each other and didn't speak, which left Raga confused about their strange behavior. Meanwhile, Feli showed up unexpectedly, surprising Raga. He had assumed she had left the house. Feli explained that she decided to stay because she wanted to try harder to bond with the Winston brothers and earn their acceptance. With Helga and Navarro not getting along, things felt awkward, and they soon left to return to their rooms. Seeing this, Jordan also decided to leave and head back to his room, leaving only Raga and Feli behind in the quiet, uneasy atmosphere. When they were left alone, Raga kept glancing at Feli. Feli noticed and asked him if he was planning to tease her again. Raga, who seemed a little flustered, didn't respond. Deep down, Raga might have started to like Feli, but he didn't say anything. Instead, he quietly handed Feli her necklace, the one he had kept as a way to make her leave. Feli was happy to get her necklace back, though Raga didn't explain why he decided to return it. The next day at school, Raga tried to copy Feli's homework, but Feli refused to let him. When Raga tried to grab her notebook, Chloe and Jordan noticed them. Both gave disapproving looks, clearly unhappy about Raga and Feli getting closer. Later, while Feli was in the restroom, Chloe approached her. Chloe told Feli to stay away from Raga because she had liked him for a long time. She didn't want Feli to take him away from her. Chloe even insulted Feli, which shocked her because they used to be best friends at the orphanage. When Faylee mentioned the orphanage, Chloe panicked. She was scared her friends would find out about her past and look down on her. Worried about being judged, Chloe started intimidating Faylee. However, Faylee chose to walk away instead of fighting back. Chloe remained uneasy, fearing Faylee might reveal her secret to others. After school, Raga approached Faylee and asked if she was heading home. Faylee said she had cheerleading practice and told Raga to go home without her. Chloe, watching them from a distance, grew jealous. She didn't like how Raga, who usually teased Faylee, now seemed to care about her. During practice, Chloe, who was a senior in the cheerleading club, assigned Faylee to be the flyer, which was the person lifted into the air. At that time, Chloe seemed to have bad intentions, and when Faylee was up high, Chloe deliberately let go of her hold. There, Faylee fell and hurt her leg. At that moment, Raga saw what happened from a distance and immediately ran to help Faylee. However, Jordan reached her first and helped her up. Raga felt jealous seeing how much Jordan cared for Faylee and began to wonder if Jordan liked her too. Meanwhile, Faylee was in a lot of pain, and Jordan offered to carry her. Faylee refused because she didn't want to look weak in front of Chloe. After Jordan helped Faylee leave, Raga went to confront Chloe. He suspected that Chloe had purposely let Faylee fall. Even though Chloe denied it, Raga was already angry with her. Luckily, Faylee wasn't seriously injured, and by the time she got home, she could walk normally again. Around the same time, Helga and Navarro came home arguing loudly. This surprised Jordan and Faylee, who were confused about why the two brothers, who usually got along so well, were suddenly fighting. Later, Faylee found Navarro cooking in the kitchen. She was amazed to see that Navarro was quite good at cooking. Navarro even asked her to share the recipe for the delicious fried rice she had made earlier. Taking the chance, Faylee asked Navarro why he was fighting with Helga. Navarro admitted that they both liked the same girl, and neither of them wanted to back down. This had caused a big argument between them. Faylee suggested that Navarro talk things out with Helga calmly and without letting their emotions take over. But Navarro refused, saying Helga was too stubborn and never gave in, not even to his brothers. That night, Faylee asked Jordan for help in coming up with a plan to make Helga and Navarro reconcile. Together, they decided to lock the two brothers in a room so they would have to talk and solve their problem. The plan worked, and they managed to lock Helga and Navarro inside. At first, the brothers continued to argue and refused to speak to each other. But eventually, Navarro gave in and started talking about their problem, breaking the silence. At that moment, Helga and Navarro agreed to confess their feelings to Monica at the same time and promised to accept whoever Monica chose with an open heart. Meanwhile, Faylee and Jordan were happy to see that the two brothers had made up and were friends again. The next day, Jordan planned to take Faylee to an art exhibition. Just as they were about to leave, Raga showed up and insisted on joining them. Faylee didn't mind at all, but Jordan seemed upset because he had hoped to spend time with Faylee alone. At the same time, Helga and Navarro were at a cafe, ready to confess their feelings to Monica. When Monica arrived, both brothers shared their feelings and gave her the gifts they had prepared. Monica looked surprised and confused because she hadn't expected both brothers to like her. There, Monica kindly but firmly told them she couldn't accept their feelings because she was moving to London soon and didn't want to have a long-distance relationship. Although she couldn't return their feelings, Monica thanked them for making her feel special. As a goodbye, Monica suggested taking a photo together with Helga and Navarro. Even though they smiled for the picture, the brothers still looked a little sad. At the art exhibition, Raga and Jordan both tried to pull Faylee in different directions, creating an awkward moment. Faylee, feeling unsure, decided to go with Jordan. After spending time exploring the exhibition, Faylee suggested they take a group photo together. Soon after, they made plans to head home because it was their father Johan's birthday. The brothers wanted to prepare a special dinner with his favorite food. Faylee, hearing this for the first time, asked what Johan's favorite dish was. Jordan explained that their father loved seafood and planned to ask the family chef to prepare it. However, Faylee mentioned that she was allergic to seafood. Hearing this, Jordan quickly changed his mind and decided to have the chef cook something else instead. Once Jordan and Faylee left, Raga secretly called the chef and told them to prepare seafood for the special dinner, planning to prank Faylee again. That evening, everyone gathered in the dining room to celebrate Johan's birthday. Even though the celebration was simple, Johan felt very happy. He loved having everyone together, especially with Feli there, as her presence brought a new, cheerful vibe to the house. As they sat down to eat, Feli didn't realize that all the dishes on the table contained seafood. During dinner, Jordan suddenly received an email announcing he had won a music competition. Overjoyed, Jordan shared the news with his father. Johan congratulated him warmly, but then quickly turned to ask Raga about his car workshop. This made Jordan feel sad, as he thought his father cared more about Raga and his achievements than about him. At the same time, Feli suddenly started itching as her allergy flared up. She quickly excused herself to go to the bathroom. There, Raga watched her leave with a look of guilt, realizing he might have gone too far with his prank. After dinner, Jordan and Feli sat down to talk. Jordan opened up about how he felt his father never cared about his achievements and only paid attention to Raga. Feli tried to cheer him up, saying that maybe Johan didn't fully understand the things Jordan was passionate about yet. However, judging by how kind Johan was to her, Feli was sure that Johan loved all his sons equally and never meant to favor one over the other. The next day, Feli's allergy had worsened. Unfortunately, she had promised to go with Jordan to his music studio, where he needed to continue his competition. Not wanting to break her promise, Feli decided to go, but wore a mask and glasses to hide her swollen face caused by the allergy. When they arrived at the music studio, Jordan met Bame, a representative from a record label who would evaluate him for the next selection round. After Jordan's audition, Bame seemed impressed and said he really liked Jordan's song. They had a long discussion about contracts and the preparations needed. However, Jordan was surprised when Bame mentioned that he would need to pay a large amount of money. Jordan had thought the label would cover all the costs. That evening, Feli was sitting in the living room, lost in thought about Jordan. She felt happy remembering all the kind things Jordan had done for her. She imagined more about Jordan until she fell asleep on the sofa. Not long after, Raga came home, holding some anti-itch medicine he had bought for Feli. He saw her asleep on the sofa and quietly approached to place the medicine on the nearby table. Looking at her, Raga felt guilty for his prank, which had caused her serious allergies. He softly apologized to Feli, even though she was asleep. When he tried to adjust her sleeping position, Feli, still half asleep, suddenly wrapped her arms around Raga. And Raga froze, his heart racing as Feli unknowingly hugged him. Then, Raga gently carried Feli to her room and laid her on the bed. For a moment, he gazed at her with a soft expression, hinting that he had feelings for her. But suddenly, Feli woke up and was startled to see Raga so close to her. Thinking he was up to something bad, Feli grabbed a pillow and started playfully hitting him. Raga quickly explained that she had fallen asleep on the sofa, so he had moved her to her room. He also mentioned that she had hugged him in her sleep, but Feli didn't believe it and felt embarrassed. Before leaving, Raga gave her the anti-itch medicine he had bought to help with her allergy. As Raga left her room, Helga and Navarro were standing outside. They teased him for being so caring toward Feli and joked that he might like her. Back in his own room, Raga kept thinking about how Feli had hugged him, even if it was accidental. Yet, he couldn't help but feel happy, realizing he truly had feelings for her. The next day at school, Kai approached a girl named Davina, who looked terrified as Kai threatened her. Davina was scared because Kai had indecent photos of her on his phone, and she begged him not to share them. Meanwhile, Feli overheard their conversation and decided to help Davina. Raga, noticing Feli, quietly followed her. Feeling hopeless and ashamed because of Kai's threats, Davina thought about ending her life. Luckily, Feli arrived just in time to stop her. Feli comforted Davina and promised to help her solve the problem. Hearing this, Davina felt relieved and decided not to go through with her plan. Later, Davina begged Kai again to delete the photos, but Kai became aggressive, pushing and kicking her. Seeing this, Raga stepped in to help while telling Feli to take Davina away from the scene. Soon after, a fight broke out between Raga and Kai, along with Kai's friends. Although Raga got hit a few times, he didn't back down. He eventually managed to defeat them and quickly left. After school, Raga was called to the counseling office, where Kai was already waiting. Kai lied to their teacher, accusing Raga of hurting Davina, who was now in the hospital. Raga denied the accusation and told the teacher that Kai was the one who had hurt Davina. To prove it, Raga asked the teacher to call Faili, who had witnessed what happened. When Faili arrived, she explained everything to their teacher. However, Kai denied the accusations and claimed Faili was teaming up with Raga to make up lies. Kai even showed fake chat messages from Davina, saying that Raga was the one who hurt her. Believing the fake evidence, the teacher decided to suspend both Raga and Faili. Back at home, Raga and Faili worked together to find a way to prove their innocence and return to school. Long story short, Faili decided to visit Davina at the hospital to talk to her, but only family members were allowed to see her. Feeling frustrated, Faili didn't give up. She snuck into Davina's room quietly and was shocked to find Kai already there. Hiding behind the curtain, Faili overheard their conversation and discovered that Kai was actually Davina's boyfriend. He was using Davina to get Raga expelled from school. Davina didn't want to lie about Raga, but Kai had threatened to share her indecent photos if she didn't help him. Quickly, Faili pulled out her phone and recorded their conversation as evidence. After leaving the room, Faili was caught by a nurse, who scolded her for entering without permission. Faili tried to talk her way out, but ended up being stopped by security after the nurse reported her. At that moment, Raga appeared and convinced the security officers to let them go. They managed to leave the hospital with the recording of Kai and Davina's conversation as proof. Meanwhile, Jordan went back to the recording studio to sign his contract with BAME. After signing, BAME told Jordan to prepare to re-record his music demo the following week. Jordan was thrilled that a record company was willing to publish his music. Soon after, BAME informed Jordan that he needed to pay a significant administrative fee. Feeling excited and confident, Jordan agreed and said he would transfer the money that day. The next day, Faili and Raga went to school to meet their teacher and show the proof that they were innocent. The teacher then called Kai to the office and played the recording Faili had brought. With the evidence, Kai couldn't deny what he had done. The teacher punished Kai for his actions and assured that the school would protect Davina if Kai ever hurt her again. The school also warned Kai that if he shared the indecent photos, he would be expelled. Hearing this, Faili and Raga felt relieved and happy that the truth had come out, and they were allowed to return to school. After school, Raga thanked Faili by giving her a drink. He even invited her to go home with him, saying his brothers were waiting for them. Meanwhile, Chloe grew angry, seeing how close Faili and Raga had become. Chloe and her friends followed them to the parking lot and were annoyed to see Faili getting along so well with the Winston brothers, especially when Faili went home with them. Filled with jealousy, Chloe and her friends started plotting to get rid of Faili. That night, Helga was packing his clothes for the upcoming school trip, as their school was planning an outdoor activity. His clothes were scattered everywhere, making a mess. Faili walked in and saw the untidy pile, looking a little annoyed. She decided to help Helga organize his clothes neatly into his suitcase. Helga felt happy and grateful to have Faili's help. The next day, everyone was ready to leave for the school trip, but Raga looked relaxed because he didn't plan to go. Faili scolded him, reminding him that the school trip would affect their grades. At the same time, Johan arrived and insisted that Raga join the trip. Not wanting to go against his father, Raga reluctantly agreed. On the bus, Raga tried to sit next to Faili, even though her seat was already taken by Hema. After some effort, Raga finally managed to sit beside Faili. He then told her that she owed him for helping her when Kai was bothering her. Not wanting to argue, Faili agreed, though she was annoyed. When they arrived at the trip location, Faili was surprised to see Kai there, even though he had been suspended. The teachers allowed Kai to join so he could catch up on his grades, but warned him not to cause any trouble. If he did, he would be expelled immediately. During a break, Raga approached Faili and asked her to feed him as payback for helping her. Reluctantly, Faili fed Raga, even though she found his request annoying. Soon after, Jordan came over, and Faili quickly left Raga to join Jordan. She invited Jordan to eat with her, ignoring Raga, who looked upset as he watched them getting closer. And Raga, wanting to stay close to Faili, insisted on helping her move some items, even though Faili didn't really want his help. Meanwhile, Chloe, Feeling jealous seeing Raga with Feli, tried to get his attention. But Raga ignored her completely, which made Chloe even angrier. Frustrated, Chloe deliberately bumped into Feli. Soon after, Jordan arrived, and Feli quickly went over to him. Seeing this, Chloe and her friends started to suspect that Feli had a crush on Jordan, especially when Jordan invited Feli for a walk nearby. What they didn't notice was Hema watching from a distance, feeling jealous of Feli and Jordan. While walking, Feli and Jordan took a break and talked about Jordan's recent music recording. Jordan shared that Bame, the manager from the record company, had suddenly disappeared after Jordan paid the administrative fee. Jordan had tried calling and messaging him multiple times, but there was no response. He started to suspect that Bame had scammed him and decided to visit the company after returning from the school trip. Meanwhile, Raga, who was looking for Feli, asked Hema where she was. Hema told him that Feli was with Jordan. Raga tried calling Feli, but her phone was unreachable. At the same time, Chloe approached Raga again, but he ignored her once more. Feeling hurt, Chloe told Raga that she had been trying to get his attention all along. But Raga firmly told her that their relationship wasn't special and that they weren't close in the way Chloe thought. His words hit Chloe hard, making her feel rejected, especially when Raga asked her to stop trying to get close to him. As night fell, Feli and Jordan still hadn't returned, and their phones couldn't be reached. This made Raga increasingly worried, especially after his father called him, asking about their whereabouts. Meanwhile, Chloe overheard Raga's conversation with his father. She wondered why Raga's father was asking about Feli and started questioning whether Raga's father knew Feli. Chloe, along with the other students, didn't know that Feli was living with Raga and his brothers. Raga continued searching for Feli and Jordan. He even asked some locals for help, but no one had seen them. It turned out that Feli and Jordan were lost and couldn't find their way back. To make matters worse, they had no signal on their phones, so they couldn't call anyone for help. While trying to find their way, they unfortunately ran into Kai and his friends. And Kai, seeking revenge on Feli for everything that had happened, pushed her, causing her to fall to the ground. Seeing this, Jordan rushed to help Feli, but he didn't know how to fight. Kai and his friends quickly overpowered him, knocking him down. After dealing with Jordan, Kai turned back to Feli and cruelly stepped on her hand, making her cry out in pain. Not long after, Raga arrived just in time and fought Kai. Kai's friends, scared of getting into trouble with Raga, quickly ran away, leaving Kai behind. Raga then helped Feli up and hugged her, showing how worried he had been. Feli thanked Raga for coming to rescue them. Feli turned to Kai and told him she would report his actions to the teachers. But unexpectedly, Raga stopped her. He explained that reporting Kai might get him expelled, and instead, Raga suggested making a deal with him. Raga told Kai that they wouldn't report him if he promised not to bother them anymore and agreed to end their rivalry. Kai, not wanting to be expelled, reluctantly agreed and quickly left. Back at the inn, Chloe came to see Feli, pretending to be worried about her. She acted kind and offered to help treat Feli's wounds, but it was all part of her plan to learn more about Feli's relationship with the Winston brothers. Chloe soon shifted the conversation to Jordan, asking about Feli's closeness with him. Thinking Chloe had become kind again, Feli innocently shared her feelings about Jordan. She admitted she liked him. After hearing this, Chloe encouraged Feli to confess her feelings to Jordan, saying that Jordan probably felt the same way. She pointed out that Jordan had never been close to any other girl and that he was always kind and attentive to Feli. Even so, Feli looked unsure. She worried that Jordan might not feel the same way about her. The next day, Chloe kept encouraging Feli to tell Jordan how she felt. She tried to convince Feli that Jordan liked her too, pointing out how kind and caring he always was. Feli's close friend, Shania, also believed the same thing. Shania thought Jordan must like Feli because he always stood up for her when Raga and his brothers teased her. Shania told Feli she would support her if she wanted to confess her feelings to Jordan. With her friend's encouragement, Feli finally felt confident enough to share her feelings with Jordan. That evening, Feli invited Jordan to talk privately. She started by thanking Jordan for always being kind and caring toward her. Then, Feli confessed her feelings to Jordan. Jordan was shocked and speechless for a moment. But to Feli's surprise, Jordan gently turned her down. He explained that he wanted to focus on his dreams for now and wasn't ready for a romantic relationship. Even so, Jordan sincerely thanked Faley for being brave and honest about her feelings. He also apologized if his actions had made Faley misunderstand his intentions. Faley felt heartbroken and embarrassed by the rejection. She quickly ran off, leaving Jordan behind. Unbeknownst to them, Chloe had been secretly recording their conversation. Chloe's kindness toward Faley had been fake all along, and she planned to use the recording to humiliate Faley. Not long after, the students were buzzing about a video of Faley confessing her feelings to Jordan and getting rejected. The video had spread everywhere, and many students started mocking Faley for it. Raga was shocked when he saw the video, but quickly stepped in to defend Faley. He told his schoolmates to stop teasing her and to ignore the video, trying his best to protect her. Raga then rushed to find Faley and hugged her, hoping to comfort her, even though Faley still didn't know about the video. Later, at the end, Faley finally found out about the video when Shania and Alan showed it to her. Someone had posted the video on the student council's social media account, making it visible to everyone at school. When Faley realized what had happened, she felt extremely embarrassed and didn't want to face anyone. The next day, Faley met Hema and told him about her problem. Hearing this, Hema quickly deleted the video post, although it was already too late since the video had gone viral and spread across the school. Even so, Faley thanked Hema for helping her. Faley then asked who managed the school council's social media account, as she suspected someone from that group had uploaded the video. Hema explained that the account's password had been widely shared for a long time, and many students had used it to post content, usually related to school activities. However, Hema promised to help Faley find out who had uploaded the video. Later, when Faley met Raga, she accused him of being the one who shared the video. She recalled seeing Raga on the night she confessed to Jordan. Surprised by the accusation, Raga explained that he had only come to comfort her after learning about the post earlier. But Faley didn't believe him and continued blaming him. Frustrated, Raga left, feeling upset. Not only was Faley gossiped about, but she was also publicly humiliated by Chloe's friends, Miranda and Yolanda, who mocked her in front of others. Thankfully, Raga and his brothers arrived just in time to defend her. Raga took Faley away from the scene, while Helga and Navarro scolded Miranda and Yolanda for their behavior. Shocked by the Winston brothers standing up for Faley, the two girls were left speechless. Meanwhile, Raga tried to explain to Faley that he wasn't the one who uploaded the video. He even swore to prove his innocence. Eventually, Faley started to believe him. To cheer her up, Raga invited Faley to go somewhere on a motorcycle he had borrowed from a local. Soon after, Raga took Faley to a peaceful lake, a place where she could calm her mind and let out all her frustration. After expressing her feelings, Faley finally felt better and began to smile and laugh again. Seeing her happy made Raga feel relieved and joyful too. Before heading back, they stopped at a small food stall for lunch. While eating, Raga asked Faley about her past and how she ended up at the orphanage. Faley shared that her parents had once told her they were leaving her at the orphanage temporarily. But years passed, and they never came back for her. She didn't know where they were or why they hadn't returned. Even so, Faley remained hopeful, believing that someday she would reunite with her parents. That evening, Raga took Faley back to the inn. Faley thanked Raga for cheering her up. However, as they looked at each other, the situation became awkward. Neither of them knew what to say, as if their words had suddenly disappeared. Not long after Raga left, Chloe came to see Faley. Chloe pretended to be worried about her, even though she was just acting. Faley told Chloe that Raga had taken her out for a ride to help her clear her mind. Hearing this, Chloe became upset and quickly walked away. Chloe then called someone, looking like she was planning something to embarrass Faley at the campfire event later. While Faley was chatting with her friend, a member of the campfire committee approached her. The girl asked Faley to perform a song at the event. Faley was surprised and refused at first since she wasn't part of the scheduled performers. However, the girl insisted because Faley's name was already on the list, and it couldn't be changed. That evening, the campfire event began. When it was Faley's turn to sing, she went on stage. But instead of cheering, the students started shouting and mocking her, bringing up the viral video. At that time, Faylee tried her best to ignore them and continued singing. From a distance, Jordan watched but did nothing to help as Faylee faced the crowd's harsh words. Meanwhile, Raga grew angry and decided to join Faylee on stage. As soon as Raga stepped up, the atmosphere changed. The students, who had been yelling and mocking Faylee, suddenly quieted down. They began to listen and enjoy the duet between Raga and Faylee. By the end of the performance, the audience waved their hands in appreciation and clapped loudly for them, showing their support. From a distance, Jordan smiled, proud that Faylee had performed so well on stage. Meanwhile, Chloe looked upset because her plan to embarrass Faylee had failed. After the event, Faylee wanted to return to the inn quickly. As she was leaving, Jordan tried to approach her, but Faylee ignored him, still upset about what had happened. Seeing Jordan feeling guilty, Raga walked over to talk to his brother. He asked Jordan about the conversation with Faylee that had been recorded and shared. Jordan honestly admitted that he had no idea who recorded or spread the video. He explained that he hadn't seen anyone else there during their talk. Raga then asked Jordan if he had feelings for Faylee. Jordan looked confused, unsure of his own emotions. Surprisingly, Raga said that if Jordan didn't have feelings for Faylee, he would try to get closer to her himself. Jordan was shocked to hear this, because Raga had always teased Faylee and was the one who initially opposed her joining their family. But seeing how serious Raga was, Jordan decided to support his brother. He told Raga that Faylee was a kind girl and a good match for him. Jordan also reminded Raga to always take care of Faylee and make her happy, as he didn't want her to be hurt again. Raga was thrilled to have Jordan's support. He promised to always protect Faylee and do whatever it took to make her happy. The next day, Jordan wanted to apologize to Faylee and try to talk to her again, but Faylee quickly walked away, avoiding him. As she walked off, a few students started mocking her, trying to upset her. At that moment, Raga arrived and immediately scolded them. He was so angry that the students fell silent, too scared to say another word. Afterward, Raga went after Faylee, joined by Jordan, Helga, and Navarro. The four of them walked behind Faylee like her personal bodyguards, ready to protect her from anything or anyone. Finally, they arrived home, ready to rest in their rooms. Seeing Faylee struggling to carry her suitcase, Jordan offered to help, but Faylee refused, not wanting any help from him. Feeling ignored by Faylee, Jordan looked sad and even more guilty. In her room, Faylee poured her feelings into her diary. She wrote about how hurt and disappointed she was that day. She felt sad because her schoolmates had mocked her and mentally intimidated her. But what hurt the most was Jordan rejecting her confession of love. Faylee realized she had hoped too much, assuming Jordan liked her too, which made her confident enough to share her feelings. His rejection left her heartbroken, making her feel unworthy of being loved by anyone. That night, Faylee cried quietly, feeling overwhelmed by her emotions. Meanwhile, Jordan sat lost in thought whenever he passed by Faylee's room. He wanted to explain everything to her, but couldn't find the courage to do so. Jordan was afraid Faylee still didn't want to see him. Soon after, Raga and his brothers gathered to talk about Faylee. She had been staying in her room all day and hadn't eaten anything. Navarro, worried about her health, decided to make her favorite fried rice using the recipe Faylee had shared with him before. Meanwhile, in her room, Faylee was very hungry but didn't want to leave. She was too afraid of running into Jordan, which might make things even more awkward. Shortly after, Navarro knocked on her door and brought her the fried rice he had cooked. Faylee felt touched and happy that Navarro cared enough to make her favorite meal. During that moment, Navarro gently told Faylee not to avoid Jordan and encouraged her to listen to what he had to say. Navarro believed Jordan must have had a good reason for rejecting her. Faylee stayed silent, thinking deeply, as she realized she hadn't given Jordan a chance to explain. The next day, when Faylee finally left her room, she accidentally bumped into Jordan. Jordan tried to talk to her, but Faylee quickly ran back to her room. Jordan felt sad that she was still avoiding him. Later, Faylee received a video of her confession to Jordan. However, the video had been edited to make fun of her, with hurtful captions added. Watching it made Faylee feel heartbroken, and she started crying. In her distress, she accidentally knocked over a glass decoration nearby, shattering it on the floor. While passing by Feily's room, Raga heard the sound of something falling inside. Surprised, he quickly went to check on her and found Feily cleaning up broken glass scattered on the floor. Raga hurried to help her and tried to calm her down, as she still looked shaken. Realizing that Feily was upset about the viral video, Raga promised to help her find the person who had shared it. Once Feily felt calmer, she thanked Raga for everything he had done. Unexpectedly, Raga also thanked Feily, saying that her presence had brought many positive changes to their home and that she had helped them in many ways. There, Raga admitted he had learned a lot of good things from Feily, and that's why he wanted to help her solve her problem. Shortly after, Feily and Raga met Hema at a cafe. Hema was surprised to see them together and getting along, especially since Raga had always teased Feily before, and she often got annoyed with him. Then, Feily asked Hema if he had discovered who uploaded the video on the student council's social media account. Hema explained that he had investigated the post and managed to trace the IP address of the person who uploaded it. To Feily's shock, Hema revealed that the person who had humiliated her by uploading the video was Chloe. At that time, Feily couldn't believe it at first, feeling betrayed. But Hema assured her that his investigation was accurate, and the IP address confirmed it. Feeling upset, Feily decided to leave the cafe, and Raga quickly followed her. Before leaving, Raga thanked Hema for helping them find out who had uploaded the video. While in the car, Feily shared with Raga about her friendship with Chloe back when they lived together at the orphanage. Feily explained that Chloe used to be a kind and caring friend, which made it hard for her to believe Chloe would purposely humiliate her. But Feily realized that Chloe's recent kindness had felt strange. It turned out Chloe had been pretending to be nice to trick her. Chloe had even pushed her to confess her feelings to Jordan, convincing her that he liked her back. After listening, Raga took Feily to his car workshop. He asked her to draw a custom car design for him. Raga had noticed that Feily was talented at drawing and wanted to help her focus on something she enjoyed to take her mind off her problems. Feily agreed to draw the design, but asked for something in return. Raga promised to teach her how to drive, and Feily happily accepted the deal. Later, they arrived home and spent time talking and laughing together. Feily thanked Raga for helping her figure out who had spread the video. She also promised to finish the car design for him soon. From that moment on, Feily and Raga grew closer, though Feily still didn't know that Raga had romantic feelings for her. One night, Feily had trouble sleeping because something was on her mind. She got up to drink some water, but realized her glass was empty. So, she went to the kitchen to refill it. At the same time, Feily received a message from Jordan asking her to come to the living room. He wanted to show her his first song. Curious, Feily headed to the living room to meet Jordan, but the atmosphere felt awkward between them. Feily even thought about leaving. As she turned to go, Jordan suddenly played music through the speakers. Hearing the music, Feily stopped and decided to stay. Jordan then sang a song for Feily, a special song to cheer her up and help her forget the hurtful things people had said about her. Feily couldn't help but smile as Jordan sang, cause it was a beautiful song, and his voice was amazing. After finishing the song, Jordan apologized to Feily. He explained that he never meant to hurt her feelings. Feily finally understood why Jordan had turned her down, and they agreed to become best friends. Afterward, Feily and Jordan joked around and sang the song together, laughing and enjoying each other's company. Meanwhile, Raga was looking at photos of Feily saved on his phone. Without him noticing, Helga and Navarro sneaked up behind him and caught him in the act. They immediately teased Raga, making him blush and act awkwardly. Then, Navarro joked that he couldn't believe Raga liked Feily, especially since Raga used to dislike her so much. Helga then suggested that Raga confess his feelings to Feily, but Raga quickly denied it and hurried away, clearly embarrassed. At the same time, Feily, back in her room, received a phone call from Hema. He told her he had a plan to make Chloe admit that she was the one who recorded and uploaded the video to embarrass Feily. Hema explained his idea, and Feily agreed to go along with it. The next day, before heading to school, Feily gave Raga the car modification design she had drawn. Raga was thrilled with the design and thanked Feily for helping him. He also complimented her work, saying it was amazing and showed how talented she was at drawing. And Jordan, watching from the side, looked happy to see that Raga and Feily were getting along so well now. Not long after, Johan arrived with Helga and Navarro. The brothers were joking around with Feli, even offering to carry her bag, showing how close they had become. Seeing this, Johan smiled, feeling happy that his sons now saw Feli as part of the family. Johan then told Feli it was time to discuss the possibility of officially adopting her as his daughter. When they arrived at school, Miranda and Yolanda noticed Feli getting out of the car with Raga and his brothers. They also saw how close Feli seemed with the Winston brothers, which made them jealous. Annoyed, they decided to tell Chloe about it. During gym class, Feli told Shania that she didn't want to use her phone for a while because she was still upset about the video that was edited to mock her. Feli also shared that she and Jordan had made up and agreed to be best friends. Hearing this, Shania guessed that maybe Feli liked someone else but was too focused on her admiration for Jordan to notice. Feli, however, didn't take Shania's words seriously and insisted that Jordan was the only one she liked. At lunch, Raga approached Feli to give her a gift. It was a brand new phone with a new number. Raga said he wanted Feli to have it so she wouldn't receive any more harassment. At first, Feli hesitated to accept the gift, but Raga convinced her. Finally, Feli took the phone and thanked Raga for his thoughtfulness. Later, Feli bumped into Chloe on her way to the cafeteria. Although Feli was still angry at Chloe for humiliating her, she chose to ignore Chloe and acted cold toward her. While Chloe was eating in the cafeteria, a waiter suddenly brought her a dish she didn't order. Under the bowl was a small piece of paper with a mysterious message addressed to Chloe. The note under the bowl said that the sender knew about Chloe's actions and demanded that she meet them behind the school. It also threatened to expose her wrongdoing to everyone if she didn't show up. This was part of Hema and Feli's plan to get Chloe to admit what she had done. The message was meant to lure Chloe out, and if she went to the meeting, it would confirm she was guilty. As expected, Chloe showed up to meet Hema behind the school, proving she was the culprit. Chloe angrily pulled off the mask and hoodie Hema was wearing to hide his identity. Even then, Chloe still refused to admit what she had done. And Hema, pretending to negotiate, told Chloe that he would keep her secret if she transferred money to him. This was a trick to get Chloe to confess. Thinking she could get away with it, Chloe agreed and said she would transfer the money. In her frustration, Chloe admitted that she was the one who recorded and uploaded the video to the school council's social media account. What Chloe didn't know was that Hema had been secretly recording their conversation. The recording was proof that Chloe was guilty. Realizing this, Chloe panicked and became very scared, especially when Hema told their teacher about her actions. At that time, Chloe was scolded harshly by her teacher, who decided on a fitting punishment. Chloe was required to make a video apologizing to Feli and Jordan, explaining the truth. The video would then be uploaded to the school council's social media account. After making the apology video, Chloe accidentally ran into Feli. Feli stared at her sharply, but Chloe said nothing and quickly walked away. Soon, the video was uploaded and watched by the students, clearing Feli's name. Raga was thrilled, and so were Shania and Alan, as Feli was no longer the subject of gossip at school. Shania told Feli not to worry anymore because Raga would always be by her side to protect her. Hearing this, both Feli and Raga became flustered and awkward. Later that day, after school, Chloe went to the orphanage to meet Ida there. She asked Ida about Feli and was shocked to learn that Feli had been adopted by Johan. Chloe was even more surprised to find out that Feli now lived in Johan's house with Raga and his brothers. Seemingly up to something, Chloe sneaked over to Johan's house to confirm the truth. Sure enough, she saw Feli arriving home with the Winston brothers. Hidden in the yard, Chloe secretly took pictures of them, planning to use the photos to embarrass Feli again. Meanwhile, Jordan went to the recording company to meet Bame, who had suddenly disappeared and couldn't be reached. But to his surprise, Jordan was told that Bame had been arrested by the police for fraud. It turned out Bame had scammed many people by promising to make them famous artists if they transferred money to him. Realizing he had been tricked, Jordan quickly called Feli and told her everything. He admitted feeling scared and worried because he thought his father would be angry when he found out about the scam. Feli calmed him down, saying that no matter what, Jordan needed to be honest with his father. She also promised to stay by Jordan's side when he told his father the truth. That evening, Jordan gathered his courage and went to see his father in his study while Faley waited in another room. At the same time, Raga walked into the room where Faley was curious about what was going on. In the study, Jordan explained everything to his father. He told him how Bame had promised to make him a singer and convinced him to transfer money, claiming it was for administrative fees. Jordan also explained that Bame had been using this scam on others and had already been arrested by the police. At that time, Raga was shocked to hear what had happened, while Johan looked very angry at Jordan. Johan scolded Jordan, saying he had sent him to school to make wise decisions, not to get tricked because of carelessness. Johan added that what Jordan had done was foolish and careless to fall for such a scam. Jordan felt hurt and upset by his father's harsh words, which seemed to blame him entirely. He replied that he had made mistakes because he had done everything alone, without any support or guidance from his father, who was always too busy working to pay attention to his children. Feeling disappointed and hurt, Jordan decided to leave the room. Later, Raga went to Jordan's room to comfort him. Raga apologized, admitting he hadn't noticed how much Jordan was struggling and how he had tried to handle everything alone. Jordan told Raga there was no need to apologize and thanked him for showing that he cared. Raga reassured Jordan, saying that he wasn't alone cause he still had Raga, Helga, and Navarro as his brothers. Raga encouraged Jordan to share his problems with them because they would always support and help him no matter what. On the other hand, Faley walked up to Johan to talk to him. She told Johan that Jordan had done his best to chase his dream. Faley said Jordan must be feeling really sad right now because of all the problems he was facing, and he really needed his dad's support. Hearing this, Johan went silent. He started to feel bad about getting angry at Jordan. Johan realized his mistake and thanked Faley for reminding him. Johan then went to Jordan's room. When he got there, he was surprised to see all the songs Jordan had written. Johan also noticed how Jordan could play all the instruments in the room. He realized how talented Jordan was in music. Johan felt guilty because he hadn't paid much attention to Jordan before, so he never knew about his talents and dreams. Shortly after, Johan apologized to Jordan for how he had acted earlier. He told Jordan that he was very proud of him, and it's not just because he was so talented, but also because he had worked so hard to follow his dream, even without his dad's support. Hearing this, Jordan didn't feel sad anymore, and the two of them made up. The next day, the students at Booty Dharma School were shocked by news about Faley that went viral. The news showed a picture of Faley living in Johan's house. But what surprised everyone more was that the news claimed Faley was Johan Winston's secret daughter. It turned out that Chloe was behind all of this. She made up and spread the fake news because she wanted to get back at Faley. Because of the news, Faley became the talk of the school again. The students openly made fun of her and even accused her of being Johan's mistress. The next day, Winston brothers found out about the news, but instead of defending Faley, they started to doubt her. They wondered if Faley really was their dad's secret daughter or worse, his mistress, because their dad cared so much about her and treated her so kindly. At that time, Raga got really angry and yelled at Faley, demanding an explanation. Helga and Navarro were also upset and disappointed with her. There, Faley tried to explain everything, but they seemed to believe the fake news more than her. Even Jordan, who had always trusted Faley, started to doubt her. He wondered if the news might actually be true. Seeing that the Winston brothers didn't trust her anymore, Faley felt sad and hurt. She was upset that they believed the fake news so easily without letting her explain. Faley told them how much it hurt her to be accused like that without being given a chance to speak. Then, unable to hold back her tears, Faley ran away, feeling heartbroken over everything that had happened that morning. Somewhere else, Johan was told about the news by his assistant, Rama. Johan was shocked. He couldn't believe someone would make up and spread fake news like that. At the same time, a man named Andreas got a message with the same news about Faley. After reading it, Andreas quickly called someone to ask about Faley, the girl mentioned in the news. Not long after, Andreas went to an orphanage run by Ida by chance. He met Faley there. Faley had returned to the orphanage because she was feeling very frustrated and overwhelmed by all the problems she was facing. Faley shared everything with Ida and decided to stay at the orphanage for a while. While Faley was talking to Ida, Andreas arrived and asked to meet a girl named Faley. He introduced himself as Faley's real father. Hearing this, Faley and Ida were shocked. They never expected the man standing in front of them to be Faley's dad. Andreas then explained that the necklace Faley was wearing used to belong to her mother. He had given it as a gift to her. To prove what he was saying, Andreas showed them a photo of baby Faley being held by her parents. When Ida saw the picture, she recognized the woman holding the baby. She confirmed that it was Faley's mom, the same woman who had left Faley at the orphanage. Shortly after, Andreas told Faley that her mom had passed away from an illness not long after leaving her at the orphanage. Hearing this, Faley was surprised and emotional, trying to take in everything she had just learned. Andreas explained that he never wanted to leave Faley at the orphanage. But at that time, he was struggling with money and felt he couldn't take care of her on his own. He felt very guilty about it. Now that his life was more stable, Andreas wanted to bring Faley home. He said he could take care of her and provide for everything she needed. Andreas also told Faley that he lived in Surabaya and hoped she would come live with him there. Hearing this, Faley said she needed time to think about everything because she was still shocked by all that had happened. Andreas understood her feelings and told her he wouldn't force her to decide. He promised to support whatever choice she made. Before leaving, Andreas gave Faley his phone number and told her she could call him anytime once she made her decision. Meanwhile, the Winston brothers confronted their dad, Johan, demanding an explanation about Faley. Johan tried to explain that the news about Faley was fake, but his sons didn't believe him. They remembered a time when Johan had an affair with another woman. Back then, Raga accidentally caught his dad on a date with the woman, and Johan even planned to secretly marry her. Raga was so angry and disappointed that he decided to leave the country because he didn't want to face his father anymore. Raga had sacrificed a lot, even his education, which forced him to start school all over again. That's why he ended up in the same class as his younger brother, Jordan. Now, in the present, Raga brought up their dad's past affair again. But Johan firmly explained that Faley was not his secret daughter or his mistress. Johan said he wanted to adopt Faley to honor their late mother's wish to have a daughter. Johan explained that Faley was a kind girl, and he wanted to give her a better life and help her achieve success in the future. Hearing this, the brothers became quiet. They realized they had made a big mistake by accusing Faley without listening to her side of the story. Knowing how worried they were about Faley, Johan told his sons to find her and convince her to come back home. Meanwhile, Chloe was nervously scrolling through the viral news about Faley on her phone. She hadn't expected the story to blow up like this. Chloe was scared that someone might find out she was the one who spread the fake news. At the same time, Faley was feeling confused about her decision to live with her real dad. That night, she still didn't return to Johan's house and chose to stay at the orphanage instead. She even ignored Johan's phone calls because she was still feeling very upset about everything that had happened to her. Somewhere else, Rama called Johan to warn him that the fake news could damage the company's reputation if nothing was done. Hearing this, Johan immediately told Rama to release a statement clarifying that the viral news was fake. He also asked Rama to find out who had created and spread the false story. At the same time, Faley received a text message from Raga. He apologized for accusing her and asked her to come back home because everyone missed her. Soon after, Faley also got messages from Jordan, Helga, and Navarro. They all apologized and begged her to return. Faley felt happy knowing that the Winston brothers no longer thought she was their dad's secret daughter or mistress. But when Faley looked at the fake news again, she became frustrated all over again. She decided to call Andreas, her biological father, and told him she was ready to go to Surabaya to live with him. Faley hoped she could start a new life in Surabaya and leave all her problems behind. The next day, Faley told Ida about her decision to live with her real dad instead of going back to Johan's house. Faley said she wanted a fresh start and to forget everything that had happened. Ida told Faley that she would support her no matter what because she only wanted the best for her. Ida said Faley had been through enough pain and deserved lots of happiness in her life. Soon after, Faley went to see Raga at his workshop and told him about her biological father coming to the orphanage to take her home. At first, Raga was happy to see Faley, but he was shocked when he heard that she planned to live with her father in Surabaya. Trying to hide his sadness, Raga walked away, holding back his tears. He didn't want to say goodbye to Faley. He wasn't ready to lose her. But Raga realized he couldn't be selfish. Feli had her own life and the right to make her own choices. So, he decided to support her decision, no matter how hard it was, because all he wanted was for Feli to be happy. Raga went back to Feli and told her he would teach her how to drive before she left for Surabaya, keeping a promise he had made to her. Patiently, Raga began teaching Feli how to drive, showing her the parts of the car and explaining how they worked. As they sat close to each other, their eyes accidentally met, and they both became awkward and shy. In that moment, Raga imagined what it would be like if he had the courage to tell Feli how he felt and ask her not to leave. But before he could dwell on the thought, Feli said something that snapped him out of his daydream. Raga decided to keep his feelings to himself because he didn't want to make things harder for her. Then, they continued their driving lesson, knowing that Feli would be leaving for Surabaya the next day. At that time, Raga focused on helping her, cherishing their time together, even if it was for just a little longer. The next day, Raga and his brothers were waiting to say goodbye to Feli. They looked sad because Feli had decided to live with her biological father in Surabaya. Even though they didn't want her to leave, they respected her choice. Soon after, Feli arrived, carrying her suitcase. There, Navarro asked Feli if she was really sure about her decision. Feli nodded and said she had made up her mind. She explained that she had always wanted to return to her parents, and now that her father had come to take her home, she wanted to go with him. Feli then thanked the Winston brothers for helping and supporting her. She also thanked Johan for treating her so kindly, just like his own daughter. She appreciated that Johan was even willing to adopt her officially. Johan smiled and told Feli to stay in touch with them. He said she would always be a part of their family, even if she chose to live with her biological father. Not long after, Andreas arrived to pick up Feli. Johan and his sons walked with her to meet her biological father. Johan reminded Andreas to take good care of Feli and look after her well. Even though Johan didn't want to let Feli go, he knew he had to respect her decision to live with Andreas. As Andreas loaded Feli's suitcase into the car, Feli said goodbye to Johan and the Winston brothers. They all looked very sad because they didn't want to part with her. Before she left, Raga told Feli to always be careful and to call him when she arrived or if she ever needed help. Soon after, Feli left with Andreas, and the brothers had to let her go, even though it was very hard for them. They understood they couldn't be selfish because Feli had always dreamed of living with her real parents. That night, Raga and his brothers gathered together to talk about Feli. They already missed her and hoped she would be happy and safe with her biological father. Navarro said that people often realize how special someone is after they're gone. He admitted he really missed Feli because she was the only one who would cook with him in the house. He also remembered how Feli helped him and Helga make up when they fought over liking the same girl. Helga added that Feli was kind and sincere, and Jordan agreed. Meanwhile, Raga accidentally said that he felt a big emptiness since Feli left, hinting that she was someone very special to him. Hearing this, Helga and Navarro looked at each other and teased Raga, convinced that he had truly fallen in love with Feli. On the other hand, Andreas took Feli to a villa in Bagar. When they arrived, Andreas gently woke Feli, who had fallen asleep during the trip. Feli was surprised and asked why they were there. Andreas smiled and said he wanted to surprise her with a little vacation before they went to Surabaya. Hearing this, Feli felt very happy and thanked her father for the chance to enjoy a few days of fun. When they entered the villa, Feli noticed that her phone was missing. She was sure she had kept it in her bag. Andreas told her that her phone might have been left in the car. He assured her he would look for it and suggested she have dinner in the meantime. During dinner, Feli asked Andreas about her mother. But Andreas didn't want to talk about her, saying it would make him sad. He explained that he was still heartbroken over his wife's death, so he preferred not to discuss her. However, Andreas promised to share more about Feli's mother another time. For now, he wanted them to enjoy their vacation and have fun. Feli agreed and continued her dinner. Elsewhere, Raga was in Feli's room, missing her deeply. He thought about all the happy moments he had shared with her and felt sad because she wasn't with him anymore. Raga kept looking at his phone, waiting for a message from Feli, but she still hadn't replied to him. At that time, Feli was excited when she entered her room. It was beautiful and very comfortable, and she felt happy to stay there. A little later, Andreas came in and told her he couldn't find her phone in the car. He guessed it might have fallen or been left behind when they stopped at a rest area. Andreas promised to buy Feli a new phone and told her to rest. After Andreas left, Feli opened her suitcase and took out a new phone that Raga had given her. Luckily, Raga had already saved his phone number on it, so Feli could contact him. The next day, Feli sent a text to Raga. She told him she was on vacation at a villa in Bagar. She also explained that her phone had gone missing, so she was using the phone Raga had given her. Soon after, Feli's father called her and told her he needed to go out for a while to meet a client. He asked Feli to stay at the villa while he was gone. As they talked, Andreas noticed Feli holding a phone. Feli explained that it was a backup phone. Hearing this, Andreas's expression suddenly turned cold and suspicious. Before leaving, Andreas instructed his men to keep an eye on Feli and report to him if she made any calls. Meanwhile, Raga told his father and brothers that Feli was currently on vacation in Bagar. Johan was surprised to hear this. Navarro suggested that Feli and her father might just need some family time to strengthen their bond after being apart for so long. While this made sense, Johan couldn't shake off his doubts. He asked Rama to gather all the information he could about Andreas to confirm if he was truly Feli's biological father. On the other hand, Jordan wanted to talk to Raga and asked if he had told Feli how he felt. Raga said he hadn't because the timing wasn't right. He explained that he wanted to share his feelings before Feli left, but he didn't want to confuse her or make her worry, especially since she had just reunited with her father after so many years. Hearing this, Helga and Navarro encouraged Raga to go after Feli and tell her how he truly felt if he really loved her. They reminded him that Bagar wasn't too far from where they lived, so he still had a chance. At the same time, Rama went to see Johan with information about Andreas. According to what he had found, Andreas Giralda, Feli's father, did have a daughter named Felicia, or Feli. Hearing this, Johan felt relieved, even though it was still hard for him to let Feli go. Meanwhile, Raga decided to go to Bagar to find Feli and confess his feelings. Jordan cheered him on and showed his support for their love. Elsewhere, Feli was looking for her father, but Andreas hadn't come back yet. When Feli tried to leave the villa, she noticed two of Andreas's men following her. Feeling uncomfortable, Feli asked them to stop following her. One of them explained that Andreas had ordered them to watch over her. Feli eventually arrived at a wide, open field. She felt relaxed as she breathed in the fresh air. She also took some photos because the view was so beautiful, enjoying a quiet moment for herself. At that moment, Feli thought about Raga and decided to call him. Raga, who was driving, pulled over to answer her call. When Feli asked where he was, Raga fibbed because he wanted to surprise her. He then asked for the address of the villa where Feli was staying. Without suspecting anything, Feli happily shared the villa's location with him. Meanwhile, Johan was looking at family photos that included Feli. His face looked sad because he missed her so much. As he gazed at the pictures, Johan's thoughts drifted to his late wife. Feeling emotional, he decided to visit her grave. At the graveyard, Johan spoke to his wife's tombstone. He talked about Feli, a kind girl who had brought so much positive change to his life and to his sons. Johan said Feli's presence had made their home brighter and more joyful. Even though Johan felt a deep sense of loss with Feli gone, he realized he couldn't stand in the way of her happiness. He understood that Feli deserved to reunite with her biological parents if that's what made her happy. Johan told himself to accept it, even if it was hard. As Johan was about to leave the cemetery, he noticed a gravestone with the name Andreas on it. This immediately reminded him of Feli's biological father. Feeling uneasy, Johan quickly called Rama and asked him to investigate whether Andreas Giralda was truly alive or not. Johan began to suspect that the man who met Feli might be a fraud using her real father's name for his own gain. Meanwhile, Raga arrived at the villa where Feli was staying. But as he was about to go in, he noticed the place was guarded by many rough-looking men. Raga wondered if he had the wrong address. He went back to his car and decided to drive around the area to check things out. Soon, Raga spotted Feli from a distance. He was surprised to see that two of the men were following her closely, looking very alert. Raga decided to stay hidden and watch from afar. A little later, Feli walked away from the area and Raga quietly followed her. Back at the villa, Feli was feeling bored. Her father hadn't returned, and she had no one to talk to. She was also annoyed that her father's men kept following her everywhere she went. Suddenly, Feli came up with a plan to sneak out. She decided to climb over the fence to get away from the men. It wasn't easy, but she finally managed to climb out. At the same time, Raga, who had been watching from outside, saw Feli jump over the fence and quickly ran to her. Feli was shocked, but happy to see Raga. She was so excited that she gave him a big hug, making Raga feel awkward, but also glad. Feli then asked Raga to leave the area with her quietly because she didn't want her father's men to follow them. They found a quiet place to talk. Raga asked Feli about the men guarding the villa. Feli explained that they were her father's men, assigned to watch over her. There, Feli explained that her father might be very protective because he didn't want to lose her again. That's why he hired so many guards to watch over her. She added that her father would probably get angry if he found out she had sneaked out with Raga. Raga thought her explanation made sense, but he also felt it was a bit too much since it seemed like they were stopping Feli from having her own freedom. They walked to a nearby lake, where Feli asked why Raga had come to see her alone. Raga replied that he missed her so much that he had to come by himself. Hearing this, Feli laughed, thinking Raga was joking. Even though Feli took his words lightly, Raga was determined to tell her how he truly felt. After gathering all his courage, Raga finally confessed his feelings to Feli. He told her that he had fallen in love with her. He wasn't sure when his feelings had started, but he knew one thing, that he didn't want to wait any longer to tell her, because he loved her deeply. At that time, Feli was shocked and couldn't say a word. Not knowing what to do, she got up and walked away. Raga quickly followed her, telling her that his love for her wasn't as a brother or a friend, but as a man who loved a woman. Feli replied that she would soon be leaving for Surabaya, and they probably wouldn't see each other very often. Hearing this, Raga looked at her with a mix of sadness and determination. Upon hearing that, Raga responded firmly, saying that distance wouldn't be a problem for him. He told Feli that he wouldn't hesitate to fight for his love for her, even if it meant traveling to another city or even another country. But Feli still looked unsure, so Raga gently held her hand and told her she didn't have to answer his confession right away. Raga assured her that he didn't want to pressure her, especially since she was so happy to finally reunite with her father after so many years. He didn't want to ruin that happiness. Raga said he would wait for her until she was completely sure about her decision. He added that he would always care for her and promised to do his best to make her happy. Hearing this, Feli smiled warmly. Although Feli had been unsure about starting a relationship because of her upcoming move to Surabaya, Raga's words reassured her. She felt happy, and her smile showed that she cared for Raga too. That night, Raga took Feli back to the villa. Before saying goodbye, they agreed to meet at a cafe the next day while Feli was still on vacation. With Raga's help, Feli climbed over the villa's fence and sneaked back into her room without being noticed by her father's man. She texted Raga afterward, thanking him for a wonderful day. Later, as Feli went to the kitchen to get a drink, she accidentally overheard her father talking on the phone. She was shocked to hear that Andreas had a wicked plan to sell her to a human trafficking group. Even worse, Andreas wasn't her real father, and he was actually her uncle. The shocking news made Feli drop the glass she was holding, causing it to shatter loudly. Andreas immediately noticed the noise, realizing that Feli had overheard his conversation. There, Feli quickly ran away, but Andreas ordered his men to chase her. Desperate, Feli jumped into Andreas's car, which luckily still had the keys inside. She remembered the lessons Raga had given her about driving and managed to start the car. She began driving away as fast as she could, with Andreas and his men following in another car. At first, Feli drove at high speed, but she started feeling nervous and accidentally slowed down. This gave Andreas and his men a chance to catch up. They stopped her car, and Andreas pulled Feli out. Terrified, Feli screamed for help, but there was no one around to hear her. Andreas dragged Feli back to the villa, where he tied her up and threatened to kill her if she tried to escape again. Feli, scared and trembling, asked who Andreas really was, but he refused to answer. Instead, He cruelly covered her mouth to stop her from speaking. The next day, Raga was waiting at the cafe they had planned to meet at. He waited for a long time, but Feli never showed up, and this made him very worried. Meanwhile, Rama went to Johan with urgent news. He revealed that the man who had come to meet Feli was not her real father, but her uncle. Feli's real father, Andreas Geralda, was a different person. The man pretending to be Andreas Geralda was actually Andra, Andreas's younger brother. Andra had stolen his brother's identity with bad intentions toward Feli. Then it got worse. Rama explained that Andra had been in prison before for drug trafficking and human trafficking. Johan was shocked and immediately called Raga to warn him about the danger Feli was in. Soon after, Johan called Raga and told him the shocking truth that the man claiming to be Feli's father, Andreas, was actually Andra. Johan also explained that Andra had bad intentions toward Feli. Knowing how hot-headed Raga could be, Johan warned him to stay calm and not do anything reckless. Johan assured Raga that he would handle the situation by involving the police. But Raga ignored his father's advice. He ended the call and immediately rushed to the villa to rescue Feli. On his way, Raga saw Andra talking to a woman. He decided to eavesdrop on their conversation and discovered that the woman was Andra's partner, also involved in the human trafficking group. Inside the villa, Feli was desperately trying to free herself from the ropes, but her efforts didn't work. Soon after, Andra and the woman entered the room to discuss their plans. The woman said she would send her men to take Feli away that night. But Andra asked her to wait, as he was still looking for more kids to take. It turned out Andra also had his sights set on Raga and his brothers, using Feli as bait to lure them to the villa. Hearing their conversation, Feli realized the woman was Andra's partner in the trafficking ring and that they were planning to capture Raga and his brothers too. Meanwhile, outside, Raga got a call from his brothers. They were worried after Johan told them the truth about Feli's father. They begged Raga to share the villa's location so they could come and help rescue Feli. At first, Raga refused because he didn't want to put them in danger. But after they kept insisting, Raga finally gave them the location. Long story short, Raga finally found Feli tied up in the living room. He quickly ran to her to set her free. But just as he started, Andra's men appeared and attacked him. A fight broke out, but thanks to his martial arts skills, Raga managed to defeat several of them. As he worked to untie Feli, one of Andra's men suddenly hit him from behind, knocking him unconscious. They tied Raga up and placed him next to Feli. Meanwhile, Jordan and his brothers arrived at the villa. They climbed over the fence and snuck inside. When they found Raga and Feli tied up in the living room, they quickly made a plan to trick Andra's men. Luckily, their plan worked, and they freed Raga and Feli. Together, they ran out of the villa. Shortly after, Raga and his brothers jumped into a car and sped away. But Andra's men chased after them. At first, they managed to escape, but then one of the tires on their car suddenly went flat. While they tried to figure out what to do, Andra's men caught up to them, making everyone panic. At that moment, they decided to run into the forest to hide. To confuse their pursuers, they split up into different directions. Raga stayed with Feli, but one of Andra's men managed to follow them and attacked Raga with a knife. Thankfully, Raga dodged the attack and fought back in a tough battle. Using all his strength and skills, Raga finally defeated the man and kept Feli safe. But soon after, more of Andra's men arrived and surrounded Raga. Luckily, Jordan and his brother showed up just in time to help. Together, they fought off Andra's men and managed to defeat them all. Afterward, Raga grabbed a phone from one of the men and recorded everything. He sent the video to Andra, warning him to stop bothering Feli. Feli thanked Raga and his brothers for saving her. At that moment, Jordan received a call from their father, Johan, who asked if they were okay. Jordan told him they had rescued Feli, but couldn't continue their journey because of the flat tire. Hearing this, Johan said he would send his men to pick them up and bring them home safely. Meanwhile, Andra was furious when he found out that Feli had escaped with the help of the Winston brothers. Angry at his men for failing, Andra refused to give up. Instead, he sent a message to Johan, threatening to keep targeting Feli unless Johan paid him a large sum of money. Andra also warned that he wouldn't hesitate to harm Feli and Johan's sons if Johan involved the police. Worried about the safety of Feli and his sons, Johan decided to give Andra the money. Andra, pleased with his plan, told Johan to meet him at a specific location, adding that he would hurt Feli and the brothers if Johan dared to contact the authorities. Soon after, Rama informed Johan that Feli and his sons had been picked up by Johan's men and were on their way home. Rama also shared that he had reported everything to the police, and the villa where Feli had been held was now secure. Johan thanked Rama and asked him to prepare some cash, as Johan planned to meet Andra that night. A little later, Feli and the Winston brothers arrived home safely. Everyone was relieved and grateful to be back. Feli thanked Johan and his sons for rescuing her. Johan, feeling both happy and guilty, apologized to Feli for not discovering the truth about Andra sooner. He promised her that Andra would never bother her again. At that moment, Rama arrived carrying a suitcase. Johan told Feli and his sons to rest while he discussed something important with Rama. As Johan and Rama talked, Raga accidentally overheard their conversation. He learned that his father planned to meet Andra to give him the money. After Johan left, Raga quickly told Feli and his brothers what was happening. They were shocked to hear that Andra was blackmailing their father. Without hesitation, Raga and his brothers decided to follow Johan, and Feli insisted on coming too. None of them wanted anything bad to happen to their father. Long story short, Johan finally arrived at the meeting place, where Andra was already waiting for him. Without wasting time, Johan threw the suitcase full of money toward Andra and demanded that he stop bothering Feli and his sons, as they had agreed. But Andra had no intention of keeping his promise. He told Johan that he would target Feli again whenever he needed money. Andra was confident he could scare Johan into giving him whatever he wanted. He thought as long as getting money was this easy, he wouldn't leave Feli alone and planned to keep using her. Johan grew angry, realizing Andra had tricked him. Suddenly, Feli appeared and demanded that Andra tell her the truth about her parents. There, Andra admitted that he didn't know much about her parents. He said he only knew his brother had a daughter left at an orphanage, but he had no idea where his brother or his brother's wife were now. Feli didn't believe Andra easily, especially since he had been cruel to her from the start. She was also heartbroken that Andra, her own uncle, could treat her so horribly. Andra, however, didn't care about Feli's words. He walked to his car and tried to leave, but the car wouldn't start. He tried several times, but it was useless. At that moment, Raga and his brothers appeared and revealed they had sabotaged Andra's car. It turned out they had planned everything. While Feli distracted Andra by confronting him, Raga and his brothers had disabled the car to stop Andra from escaping. The next day, Feli and the others were getting ready for school. While waiting for Raga and Jordan, they saw a news report on TV about Andra's arrest. After Raga and the others sabotaged Andra's car, the police arrived and captured him. Andra was revealed to be the mastermind behind the kidnapping and human trafficking cases. Seeing the news, Feli remembered Andra's words about her parents coming to find her. She felt unsure and scared, wondering if Andra had lied and might try to harm her again. Noticing Feli's worry, Navarro reassured her and mentioned that Raga's birthday was coming up. He told Feli that Raga was planning to have a birthday party at his workshop. Soon after, Feli and the Winston brothers arrived at school. Feli walked ahead while the brothers followed behind her, looking like her bodyguards. Raga confidently put his arm around Feli, surprising the other students. Everyone was shocked to see how close Raga and Feli had become, especially since they used to argue all the time. Meanwhile, Chloe was annoyed. Her plan to get rid of Feli had completely failed, and now Raga and Feli were closer than ever. On the other hand, Shania was so surprised by Raga and Feli's closeness that she wasn't paying attention to where she was walking. She accidentally bumped into Raga, spilling her drink on his shirt. There, Shania quickly apologized, but Raga told her it was no big deal. He even invited Shania and Alan to his birthday party, leaving both girls surprised but happy. During lunch break, Feli was happily chatting with her friends when Chloe suddenly walked over to her. Chloe asked to speak with Feli alone because she had something important to say. Hearing this, Hema, Shania, and Alan hesitated but eventually left. Chloe started acting nice, pretending to apologize to Feli. However, Feli didn't believe her and refused to trust her again because she was still disappointed by Chloe's past behavior. Chloe's real plan was to convince Feli to ask Raga to invite her to his birthday party. Soon after, Shania, feeling worried about Faylee, returned and told Chloe to leave. Frustrated, Shania confronted Chloe, accusing her of pretending to be nice just to use Faylee for her own benefit. Shania then encouraged Faylee to leave with her, but Chloe stopped them and said hurtful things. She told Faylee she didn't deserve to be part of Johann Winston's family because her presence might ruin them. Chloe even claimed that Johann's company had been affected by the bad rumors about Faylee. After that, Chloe went on to say that Faylee shouldn't expect to have a romantic relationship with Raga because it would destroy his family. She reminded Faylee of the false label of being Johann's illegitimate daughter, which had already caused so much trouble. Faylee was shocked to hear all this. She hadn't realized how much the rumors might have hurt Johann's reputation and company. Feeling guilty, Faylee began blaming herself for the trouble caused to Johann and the Winston brothers. Shania quickly reassured Faylee not to listen to Chloe. She reminded Faylee that Chloe only wanted to hurt her and was saying these things to make her feel bad. Shania encouraged Faylee to stay strong and not let Chloe's words bother her. Even though Shania tried to comfort her, Faylee couldn't stop thinking about Chloe's words. She decided to avoid Raga and his brothers for a while. When Raga offered to walk home with her, Faylee refused and left quickly, leaving Raga confused. He thought maybe Faylee had a bad day. Wanting to cheer her up, Raga invited Faylee to have ice cream at the park. Thankfully, Faylee agreed. While they were eating, Faylee asked about Johann and his company. She was worried because she had heard rumors that the bad gossip about her had hurt the company's reputation. Raga reassured Faylee, telling her that his father's company wasn't affected at all. Johann had handled the issue quickly, so there was no damage or loss. He told Faylee not to worry and made it clear that none of this was her fault. Raga also encouraged Faylee to be honest if she ever needed help. He didn't want her to feel shy or uncomfortable around him and promised to always support her. Even with Raga's kind words, Chloe's hurtful comments about her not being good enough for Raga still echoed in Faylee's mind. She started thinking she might only be a burden to Raga and his family if she stayed with them. Faylee then told Raga she wanted to go to the orphanage. When Raga offered to take her there, Faylee declined and left on her own. Raga was confused by her sudden change in behavior, feeling like Faylee was trying to avoid him. Still, he decided not to push her and thought she might just need some time alone. At the orphanage, Faylee told Ida everything, including the truth about the man pretending to be her father, who turned out to be her uncle. She also shared how Andra had planned to sell her to a human trafficking group. Ida was shocked to hear this, unable to believe someone could be so cruel to Faylee. Shortly after, Ida apologized to Faylee for not checking if the man was really her father before trusting him. Faylee then told Ida about her feelings for Raga, but admitted she didn't feel worthy of being with him. She thought she would only cause more trouble if she stayed with Raga and his family. Because of this, Faylee decided to return to the orphanage and cancel the adoption process with Johann. Ida felt sad about Faylee's decision because Johann and his family had truly accepted Faylee as part of their family and cared for her deeply. However, Ida didn't want to force Faylee into anything, so she promised to support whatever decision made Faylee happy. Soon after, Faylee went to Johann's house to talk about the adoption. She told Johann that she couldn't go through with it and wanted to return to the orphanage. Johann looked very sad when he heard this, especially since Faylee had recently grown close to his sons. He had thought Faylee was happy with them and would agree to become his adopted daughter. Although Faylee didn't share all the details about why she was canceling the adoption, Johann respected her decision. Even though it wasn't what he wanted, he told Faylee he would support her choice no matter what. Then, Johann told Faylee to always stay in touch with him and his sons because he would always consider her part of his family. He also asked Faylee to continue her studies at Bodhi Dharma School until she graduated. Faylee nodded in agreement, feeling relieved that Johann understood her wishes. She thanked Johann for all his kindness and support. Faylee felt grateful to have met Johann, who gave her the chance to experience what it felt like to be loved by a family. She also appreciated how Johann treated her like his own daughter, especially when her biological parents had abandoned her and disappeared. In the following days, Jordan and his brothers invited Faylee to go shopping for clothes for Raga's birthday party. They even took her to a beauty salon to help her look her best. Faylee wore a white dress, making her look elegant and stunning. Meanwhile, Jordan and his brothers dressed casually, but looked more charming than ever. When Faylee arrived at Raga's birthday party, Raga was mesmerized by how beautiful she looked. He walked over to her and held out his hand, hoping to escort her. But to his surprise, Faylee didn't take his hand and chose to ignore him. Faylee didn't want to get her hopes up too high because she felt unworthy of being with Raga. On the other hand, Raga felt both sad and awkward as Faylee turned away from him. During the party, Raga kept glancing at Faylee, secretly watching her while she chatted with her friends. Suddenly, Hema asked Faylee to talk with him privately because he had something important to say. Faylee agreed and followed Hema, but Raga couldn't help feeling jealous when he saw them together. At that time, Hema wanted to confess his feelings to Faylee. He told her that he had liked her ever since they first met. He thought now was the perfect time to tell her, especially since he was afraid she might leave again, like when she almost went to Surabaya. After hearing Hema's confession, Faylee apologized and gently told him she couldn't accept his feelings. She explained that she was already in love with someone else. Even though Hema was heartbroken, Faylee thanked him for seeing her as someone special and for his sincere feelings. Since Faylee understood how it felt to be rejected, she tried to comfort Hema and cheer him up so he wouldn't feel too sad. Meanwhile, Raga, feeling worried, went looking for Faylee. When he finally found her, Faylee acted distant and told him to go back to the party because it was his birthday. But Raga refused and asked why she had been avoiding him lately. He wondered if he had done something to upset her, but he was certain he hadn't made any mistakes. At that moment, Raga thought Faylee was avoiding him because of his love confession a while ago. But back then, Faylee seemed happy, so Raga believed she might feel the same way he did. He asked Faylee not to push him away because he didn't want to lose her again. To his surprise, Faylee told him she couldn't accept his love and asked him to leave her alone. Then, she quickly walked away, leaving Raga confused and heartbroken. Raga felt sad and didn't understand why Faylee was acting that way. To cheer himself up, he thought about all the happy moments they had shared. Meanwhile, Faylee was crying and feeling guilty for what she said to Raga. She knew it wasn't Raga's fault. The truth was Faylee loved Raga too, but she didn't feel worthy of being with him. She believed she had caused problems for Raga and his family recently and didn't want to continue being a burden. Faylee thought it would be better to stay away from Raga, hoping he would eventually forget about her. But not long after, Raga found Faylee and tried to comfort her. He finally understood why Faylee had been keeping her distance. Raga reassured Faylee that he would never let her face her struggles alone. He told her they would face everything together, no matter what. Hearing his words, Faylee felt a little calmer, realizing she wasn't alone anymore. Raga also promised Faylee that he would always be by her side, no matter what. He vowed to protect her and never leave her. Then, Raga asked Faylee how she truly felt about him. He told her that if she didn't feel the same way, he would accept it and step back, promising not to bother her anymore. With tears in her eyes, Faylee finally admitted that she loved Raga too. Hearing this, Raga felt relieved and overjoyed knowing his love wasn't one-sided. He hugged Faylee tightly and promised to always make her happy. From that moment, Raga and Faylee officially became a couple. Soon after, Jordan and his brothers arrived and congratulated Raga and Faylee for finally sharing their feelings and becoming a couple. They decided to celebrate this happy moment at home, and Faylee promised to cook a special dinner for everyone. Later, when they arrived home, they were shocked to see their father with a woman. But what surprised them even more was that the woman was the same one who had been working with Andra in the human trafficking syndicate. Raga and Faylee, recognizing her face, were confused and wondered why she was at their house and meeting with their father. The story ends with Raga and Faylee questioning who this woman really was and what her purpose was for coming to their home. The moral lesson from this series is don't confess your love next to villains cause they might steal your spotlight. Also, if someone sketchy shows up at your house, maybe don't invite them for dinner.